So today we're going to speak about TOEFL iBT Independent Task 1 as you see on the screen. Now some technical parts. So connect to the internet directly if possible. This is highly recommended. Wear your microphone and headphones, of course. And if you have any problem, just refresh your web browser anytime. Okay. So now a bit about myself. I am Untitled and I represent Karhanyan Online School. So I'm an English language expert and I have been teaching TOEFL for about 8 years. Okay. So let's begin the lesson. So as far as I have already mentioned, this webinar is organized by Karhanyan Online School, and there you can get a lot of information on private classes. You'll learn different languages and computer programs with the following link. It is karhanyanonlineschool.com. Yes, this is our website. You can register here and get everything you want. Yes, in every field you want. Okay, now let's start the lesson. So first of all, I will introduce you our lesson objectives. They are as follows. Today, the scoring rubric of the TOEFL Speaking Independent. Yes, to learn how to plan a free choice response. To master some strategies and templates for TOEFL Speaking Question 1. So we are going today to concentrate on TOEFL Speaking Part 1, yes? Okay. So first of all, let's see what it is required of you to do in this task. So it's personal experience, yes, free choice. So in this question, you will be asked to speak about a personal experience. This may be a place, a person, a possession, a situation, or an occasion. So you must be prepared to have the answer to all of these questions. After you hear the question, you'll make a choice from your experience and then explain why you made that particular choice and not the other one. So you will have only 45 seconds to respond and only 15 seconds to prepare. Okay, so as you see, your time is limited. It is short, so it's managed in that limited time. So I hope that this part is clear to all of you. So let's see the speaking rubric for the independent task. So what you are supposed to understand by saying rubric? It is the strategy, the way that ETS scores your response. So how must your response be? Yes, I always like to say that knowing the rubric, it's one step forward to the higher score, because if you know what you have to do, what is required of you to do, you will go to your target strongly and passionately. Okay. So general speaking rubric for the independent task are as follows. So general overview of the response should have the following outline. Yes. So delivery. About by delivery, we understand the fluency, yes, of your speech, the smoothly, how fluently, how smoothly you can speak. Of course, there can be minor errors, minor lapses, but for example, within the intonation, within the pronunciation, but they must not hinder overall response. Yes, overall intelligence of your response. So you must deliver it accurately, clearly. Yes. About language use, by saying language use, we understand sophisticated grammatical structure. By saying language use, we understand stock of academic vocabulary. Yes, so this is very important part where which you must cover by all means. So using sophisticated vocabulary, also grammatical sophisticated and complex compound grammatical structure is immense importance. Then about topic development, how well you, whether it is coherent and cohesive. Are the flow of the ideas between the ideas clear and understandable? This is about your topic development. So if you want to have the high score, and the high score in the speaking rubric, you know, it is 4, because speaking is scored holistically as a whole, and the high score is 4. Okay, so this much is about speaking rubric. Now if it is clear to all of you guys, let's go ahead and see what we have waiting for us. About your general response, the progression of your response, how it should be. Of course, it must start from somewhere. Yes, it must have a starting point. So from general, it must go to specific, and more specific again to general. But here, don't miss it with the essay, because in the essay, meaning general, it means starting from a general sentence. But speaking, general means giving your general answer, yes, what you think about the topic. And specific means using transitional words, yes, and giving your specific examples on the topic, yes, just clarifying, illustrating your example, okay, your topic with examples, sorry, okay. And then you have general, it's about conclusion. This part sometimes, if you see that you are short of time, this part you can omit. But make sure to lead your reader through this through these steps, yes? Okay. Then how to plan, let me just do like this, how to plan the free choice and pair choice response. So pair choice is the second part of the independent task, but they are planned in the same way. That's why I wanted to combine them. So what is important is that you must decode the question. Decoding the question means understanding what you have to do. And the clues, the keywords can help you a lot. State clearly your answer. You must not go and wander around. Just stay concrete here. Just be to the target, to the point. State clearly your answer. What you think about the topic. For example, if your topic is about food, just clearly state, I like pizza because. Don't go, there are a lot of tasty foods, but I because in the speaking you don't have much time like in writing to go from general into specific. Try to clearly state your answer, but then of course specify your answer with examples. Then support your answer, and of course use transitionals and conclude your response. So these are just the planning part when you started planning your response. Then about strategies to use. There are some strategies, of course, that can be a lot helpful to you. I would recommend you to be, and not only recommend, but highly recommend you to be prepared to speak from the notes, not from the transcript. Because as I have already mentioned, the time is limited. And if you speak from transcript, you won't manage to do that. You won't manage even to write the transcript. So be prepared to speak from the simple notes like this. For example, if you have about parents, you can write good, patient, responsible, helpful. Okay. Now I would like some of you to write a short answer, to write a short response for the question here. Be prepared to speak from the notes. So these answer: good, patient, responsible, and helpful. In my understanding, a good parent must be patient, responsible, and helpful. And then, yes, and then you go explaining why patient, because he must always care about his children, be understanding, listen to them, and this way um, he's tolerant, yes, towards them. And then about responsibility, he must be responsible for his children. He must be helpful all the time, must help them by giving a hand, yes. So try to go further and explain the things that you have given, okay? Then, of course, organize your thoughts and speech as a paragraph, not as a standard essay. As a paragraph, because we say that a paragraph has a topic sentence and then it goes explaining. Imagine that your speaking should be like a small paragraph of an essay, not a big essay, because if you organize it as a big essay, you will have problems starting from a general, then giving your organizing your paragraph. So organize it as a small, concise, as small paragraph. Use familiar vocabulary. So be yourself, guys. Don't go from don't use the words the meaning of which you don't know. So try to use familiar vocabulary but correctly. Yes. So use short and simple sentences. In the speaking, if you use long sentences, the listener will lose the track of your speech, which can be a real catastrophe. That's why be careful. Yes, it can be a disaster. So try to use short sentences to stay within the context and uh, speak clearly. Okay. Other strategies to use different structure and vocabulary. For example, instead of saying, my grandfather is kind, he's understanding, he's well educated, okay? And you can say, my grandfather is a symbol of peace. He can understand, yes? So use all the time structure, not the same. For example, present simple all the time, present simple with to be verb. So it doesn't sound good, and it sounds somehow that you don't know properly grammar, you don't know some vocabulary parts. So this can be not good for you. Then use cohesive device effectively. Cohesive devices are the things which help us, are the grammatical things that help us to connect sentences. Yes, there can be pronouns, there can be personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, there can be articles, there can be adjectives. Yes, so use them properly, because listener always wants to know what our next step is and to follow our steps. Yes. So these cohesive devices and of course transitional words can help your speaker to stay within your topic and not to go far, not to be distracted from the topic you are speaking about. Okay. Okay, so if you have any questions, if something is not clear, you are more than welcome to ask me any question. I'll be glad to answer all of them. Okay. And then about being concise. Yes. So this is one more strategy. So there was some mistake here. So it is one of the strategies. Being concise means instead of using like long paragraph, you can just put them together and use parallel structures. Let's see how it is done. For example, the original is like that, and then we try to make it parallel, and the third is parallel with fewer clauses. As we start, we also eliminated some clauses, thus making it shorter. A good leader is someone who is confident. Also, a good leader is someone who is educated. Words are inspired by this kind of leader, and you can go on and explain. Then, making it parallel structure, you can do like this. A good leader is someone who is confident and educated. So, let's see what we have done here. Just these two sentences, we combine them by using parallel structures. Yes, by joining and also we made it some somehow uh, with good grammar, and also it is easier to understand what you wanted to say. Then in the third paragraph, in the third part, sorry, we made parallel structure with fewer clauses. For example, a good leader is confident and educated. Yes, so we make it even concise. Yes, so you see that you can this way you can also save your time. Say more, yes, but by saying more, you can also save your time. Instead of saying so long sentences and the same meaning, you can add some more sentences and have a good meaning and manage also the time. So follow this structure, it can be useful. Don't forget this part. If you have parallel structure, always join with conjunction. Okay? And you can also just make fewer clauses. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. Then some other strategies to use. Use idioms but not slangs. Yes, slang is not acceptable in the TOEFL test because it is academic vocabulary. It requires academic vocabulary, academic terms, academic. So no, not slangs, but idioms are more than acceptable. And group words and pose them appropriately. Grouping words means like you must group the words together, but it's about speaking. And you know, for example, my father is so my father is, you grouped the words together. Is, you paused, and then you said what kind of person he is. So uh, mainly you pause while you are describing. Yes? For example, you are describing someone by saying how he or she is. Okay? Okay. Then be prepared to describe a person, a place, a thing, an event, and an activity. So now I will recommend you to take a sheet of paper and a pen and write down all the topics that are written here, because mostly in the independent task 1 you will have to answer to give the answer to the following question. A person, a about the person. You can have a family member, a teacher, a coach, a friend, a neighbor, a coach, sorry, a coach, a friend, a neighbor, and a boss. If you prepare a specific group of words, a specific group of adjectives, yes, because we know that in this task we require a lot of adjectives, yes. If you group a lot of adjectives in this part, you will be able to, for example, if you have about a teacher, the same qualities or some more adding qualities, you can describe your coach. Some adjectives, specific adjectives you must have for friend, for neighbor. Okay, so you mustn't speak from like from the first time. Yes, you must be prepared for this part. And then, for example, if you have a place, sorry, it can be a room, a house, a building, a park, a lake, yes, river. So you must describe this place. Again, you must have some stock of, yes, storage of adjectives, like let's say like this, to use whenever you wish. Okay. And then about describing a thing, a class, a course, an instrument, a tool, yes, a skill, ability. So make sure to have some, to prepare some adjectives for each of them separately. Okay, I hope this part was pretty clear for you. So let's go ahead. Then some other strategies to use. I will recommend you to use metaphors and similes. So metaphors and similes that can be like this: as beautiful as nature, yes, as brilliant as a diamond, as shining as a diamond, or something like this. Okay? Don't be too emotional. Of course, you can touch your listener with some touching information, but don't be too emotional. Um, this doesn't sound good to the one who is listening to you, okay? And about the example, so be logical but subjective. Subjective means bringing example from your own experience, not objective examples, but subjective, yes, subjective examples from your own experience, what you have experienced. Be very similar here. Just try to express your thoughts, okay? Uh-huh. Okay, so I hope that the part with using the strategies was pretty much clear to you. Now let's go to the template. Yes, outline, the action. Yes, so how you should organize your speech. Of course, it must have an introduction. In the introduction, you must state your answer clearly. Where, when, who. Okay, just don't starting from general. Clearly, where, when, and who. And then you describe. Yes, you can also start from describing. In the introduction, you must include from 1 up to 2 sentences, and you must give to the introduction from 5 up to 10 seconds, not more. Okay. After then, you just must go to the details and give the reasons and support the reasons, yes, why you choose that specific answer. You must give some examples, some details, from 2 up to 3 sentences, yes, and this may take from 10 up to 10 minutes. You must watch the time to be not too overdo, yes, to be within the time limit. And then reason number 2, and of course, again, the same, you support, give details, again, from 10 up to 15 seconds. And about the question, you can just simply restate the main point in your introduction. Yes, or there is also one way you can give a strong key sentence if you have one. Like it can be some motto, yes, it can be some conclusive, yes, part. And you must have one sentence, yes, here, and give to this sentence 5 seconds, not more. Okay? Okay. Now about the practical part. So now I want you to write in the chat box. Your favorite food is, what is it and why? For giving reasons, there are some conjunctions which can help you, as, because, for several reasons, yes. So my favorite food is pizza, as, for example, it is tasty and easy to prepare. My beloved movie is, you give the name of your beloved movie. For example, it is Cinderella, because it has some history in it and it is funny to watch. Yes. My closest friend is, you name the name of your close friend. Yes, for example, Nick, because he is kind and understands. My lovable music is jazz music, rock music, for several reasons. Yes, for example, jazz music is entertaining. It gives me a lot of positive energy. While listening to this music, I elevate my stress. So let's go ahead here. Now, this was some preparation part, the way you must prepare yourself for the independent part 1, yes. Now let's take a general topic, yes, and try to what was important to you for some reason. Explain why the book was important to you. Give specific examples to explain your answer. Okay. I will show my own examples and you can see how it is done. Okay, so simple answer is like that. Okay, so a simple answer is like this. In my view, the most important book for me is Pharmacology Review for two important reasons. First, it provides me with a lot of information related to my profession as a pharmacist. Also, it increases my level of proficiency, widens my imagination, and broadens my horizon. Since I can update my knowledge about medicine, drug effects, and how to manage many diseases. So you see from here that you have a general introduction here. Okay, so you have a general introduction here. And then you have your first reason, yes. And then let's go to the second reason. It reduces my stress when I sit down and read this book after a hard day at work. It moves me to another world, a world of ideas that elevate my pressure. And then that is why, yes, I consider not that, but that is why I consider Pharmacology Review the most important book to me. Okay, so you understand how generally it should sound. It must have introduction, the two reasons that you have there, and of course the conclusion. Okay, let's go ahead. So about the transitions, yes? Use transitional words, phrases, and other phrases. So transitions can be additions, classifications, equations, and phrases. Additions can be and, along with, as well, also, to, along, yes, so they are adding to. Classifications, first, second, yes, third, after that, afterwards. Equation can be equally, likewise, similarly, in the same way, correspondingly, etc. And conclusion can be, in conclusion, to sum up briefly, it can be concluded that, to conclude, okay? And some phrases that can be really helpful. As far as I'm concerned, certainly, surely, what's more, undoubtedly, yes, unquestionably, these phrases can also help you a lot. Okay, so now let's read and see in what part, what transition you can put. I'm reading. Tourism brings much needed money to developing countries. It provides employment for the local population. So what can we add here? First, to sum up, in addition, moreover, second. Much money to developing countries, and you add something. In addition, it provides employment for the local population. Okay, so you understand that here you add information. That's why you say in addition. Okay? It's very useful. It's easy to get. Of course, here we understand that we have sequence. Yes, first it's very useful. Second, it's easy to get. Okay? Then here, in order to travel, you need a passport. You might need a visa. Yes. And you can say here, moreover, you may need a visa, or here you can also use in addition. In addition, you may need a visa. Yes? And number 4, you see that it is concluding sentence. So the best word here can fit as to sum up the characteristic mentioned above, the most important ones for me. Okay? So these are how the transitions are used. Okay, let's go. Okay. What characteristics do you think make someone a parent? Explain why these characteristics are important to you. Try to think of any characteristic that can make a good parent. Uh-huh. Okay. So there can be, you must think of adjectives like understanding, helpful, yes. Some characteristics that are general to all the parents, yes. So a good parent must be understanding and helpful, must be patient as well, yes. And then you explain why these characteristics are important. Are important because, yes, and then you your ideas, your own ideas. Okay, let me show you some expressing some ways of expressing your viewpoint can be. It stands to reason. It goes without saying. From my perspective, I'm inclined to believe. I strongly believe that I hold the viewpoint that, in my understanding, it cannot be denied that I am more than sure, yes, as far as I am concerned, these phrases can really help you to start your speech, to organize your speech, okay? Then our next practical part, photograph or painting you have seen that was memorable. Explain what you liked or disliked about it, what you liked or disliked about that painting. Okay, you take, for example, the painting of Mona Lisa and explain that, so give some information about it, that uh, what you liked about it and why it was memorable. You can say that the painting that I really like, uh, yes, that I really like and I have seen was the painting of Mona Lisa. Yes, the portrait of Mona Lisa, um, which was really unique. Yes, unique experience for me because I saw it in the Louvre, one of the greatest museums in the world, and you start giving some information about this painting. Yes. So what you like about it? You like the way woman smiles, yes. You like the mystery in it, yes. And what you dislike, you can say about the part that it's really hard and difficult to see it from very closely, yes, closely, because a lot of people want to see it and it is always overcrowded, yes. So something like this. Don't simple, stay simple. Don't go too imaginary, yes, emotional, just don't invent some things, create, just start simple. Of course, if you don't remember any of that, you can just make up one, yes, create one, but don't go too imaginary, yes, to fantasy, don't put too much fantasy in it. Okay, I hope that you get this part, what I'm saying. And then some tips to prepare. Of course, these tips, if you follow them, can help you a lot while preparing. And these are the that you must, and why not, you have to, yes, you have to follow. Make a list of familiar topics, like according to the categories as I have told you, yes, like belonging to and practice them. What is your favorite movie, your food, yes, about people, things, places, so make some categories, yes. But I have already made these categories for you, so you can just take them and read them and just make your speech accordingly. Then state examples. Make sure there are subjective, yes, about yourself. Prepare some key phrases, stick to vocabulary, sentence structure, and grammatical points that you know. If if there can be a part, a grammatical structure that you don't know, don't use it, because it is highly possible that you make mistake, and of course it's not good and it's not acceptable. Okay. Okay, about practicing this part, let's read each topic separately and try to give the answer to it. If friends from another country were going to spend time in your country, what city or place would you suggest they visit? Using details and examples, explain why. So you choose a place, about place. Choose a place and to explain why this place is beautiful. Yes. For example, I would recommend to visit our Asian temples. Yes. Uh, and then explain why. They contain a lot of history. While visiting them, they can get a lot of information about our history, about our roots, about our ancient culture. Yes, and then it is also fun because while traveling there, they can overcome. They will have to overcome a lot of obstacles. Yes, uh, like meaning language obstacles. They will see our beautiful nature. They can stop on their way. Yes, admire our nice forest, etc. So you try to explain it with some details, and of course, you can give an example. One of my friends from abroad visited my country and I recommend it. Yes, these kind of examples can be included as well. And then talk about a time when you accomplished something you did not think you could do. What did you accomplish? Why did you think you could not do it? Yes, this can be about one of the achievements that you reached. Yes. Mm, and talk about it, about your education. Yes, it can be about your education, about your bachelor's, your master's degree, why not about your PhD degree. Yes. Okay, do you think healthy food is easier or more difficult than it was 40 or 50 years ago? Use specific examples and details to explain your answer. Yes, so here we see that even in the question they clearly give us what we must talk about, explain, yes, and they say give examples and details and explain your answers. Here, explain why, yes. So they always say examples, details, and explanation. Some university students choose to take difficult classes even if they know they might not get a good grade in the class. Other students prefer to take easier classes in which they know they will get a good grade. Which do you prefer? And you must explain why, yes? So you can this was not about free choice, yes, this was about pair choice response. And now about parent choice, I would like to give a short, very short information because of course we'll have separate lesson on it. About the parent choice response, you must know this thing that um, you must choose them and support one of the ideas. Yes, this much about the parent choice response. The details about it will explore yes later. Okay, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate and ask me now. One more time, let's go through our lesson objectives. I hope that you got some information about the scoring rubric of the TOEFL speaking and you understand the importance of it. You learned some how to plan, yes, the response, and of course you learned some strategies, yes, and of course templates for TOEFL speaking questions. And be sure that all of these are very important for planning your speaking. Okay. Okay. Thank you all of you for attending our classes. We represent Karhanyan Online School, and of course you can register. You see the website here. You can register here for having private classes. We have language classes, and of course we have computer classes. Thank you all of you. Hope we'll see next time. Okay, goodbye.